Well, good afternoon. I was able to visit a number of the counties up here in north central Florida, and obviously there's significant damage there too as well. I mean, you didn't have the storm surge, of course, in a place like Madison County that you did in Horseshoe Beach or some of these other places, but you had a strong storm come through here, a lot of trees knocked down. People are having trees knocked into their homes. There's a lot of issues, of course, with the power going out, and I know they're working on all that, but there's definitely need for support. We definitely need to get the federal government to add Madison County to the individual assistance declaration. They got hit. They clearly merit it. I think we're going to probably get that because there was a lot of damage that had happened there. We do have a number of groups. So we've got our Florida State Guard out here helping with the pods. So we're doing water, we're doing MREs, tarps. We had some of these pods. I was in Madison County. We had our Operation Barbecue providing hot meals. We also had Sunnies helping with the first responders. I visited the Waffle House in Madison. It opened like 4 or 5 hours after the storm went through. They were back open and doing that. Most of the retailers have been able to get back up. There's a couple that have had some power issues. Most are running on generator in the hardest hit areas. So that's good. It helps bring back a sense of normalcy to people. We're now at about 400 and I think almost 480,000 accounts have been restored to power since the storm hit. And the outstanding without power is approximately 84,000. And that's heavily concentrated with some of the electrical cooperatives. So Duke Energy has put forward its schedule to be able to get all of its customers in the hard-hit counties back online. You're going to see a lot today, tomorrow, and then by Sunday night. And then we have all these other linemen that are here that can help the electrical cooperatives get those folks back online in places like Madison, Hamilton, Suwannee, Taylor counties. It's very important that that we have all hands on deck for that mission. So I'm happy that we have so many people in state that are stepping up to the plate. We're going to continue to be monitoring for the different types of damage assessments, but I definitely think that in some of the north central Florida, just because of all the debris and the trees, you're gonna have a lot of homes that are going to end up having been impacted on this. Just from me talking with people who were out telling me about one couple said they got 2 trees off their house already. They got 1 more to go. And it doesn't mean that the house, won't be habitable, but it does mean that these are some serious challenges. So I want to make sure that we've got support available for folks. So we definitely anticipate adding Madison County to the major declaration so that they're available, so they have individual assistance available. We're waiting on the IRS to approve one of the charities that DEM created to be able to use Florida Disaster Fund for relief for people on really a flexible basis. That could be something that would be very, very positive. We do have these pods. We're going to keep the pods until they're not needed. I think you'll probably see, particularly in some of the harder hit areas, the next few days, you're probably going to have a lot of traffic at the pods. But then I think as everything kind of goes more back to normal, I think people start to settle in. At least that's the hope that we see. But we're flexible. We're going to be willing to do what it takes to be able to get the job done. So I want to thank everybody. I mean, I've seen folks from all over the state that have surged to this area to help, whether it's on our urban search and rescue teams, whether it's sheriff's deputies from other parts of the state, police officers, firefighters, you name it. It's really been a team effort, all hands on deck, and we're going to keep doing that to be able to get everybody back on their feet. Okay, we're going to hear from a couple other folks momentarily. First is going to be Siobhan Harris, our DCF secretary. Then we're going to hear from Representative Fabricio, who's also part of the Florida State Guard. Then we'll hear from our Congresswoman, Kat Kamick. So, Siobhan?
Thank you so much, Governor. My name is Siobhan Harris. I'm the Secretary at the Florida Department of Children and Families. First, my thoughts and prayers go out to all of those impacted by this storm. We're so fortunate to have a governor like Governor DeSantis, including the Lieutenant Governor, the First Lady, and so many other elected officials who have been steadfast in their leadership in supporting those impacted. I want to also thank our first responders, the linemen, everybody who is standing ready to support those. We know in the aftermath of a storm, it can be rather overwhelming. At the department, we have a number of resources that are ready to be deployed to support families in need. This morning, we announced that we stood up 3 family resource support centers in Madison, Taylor, and Suwannee counties. These centers were critical following Hurricane Ian. The centers are staffed with skilled and compassionate teams, including Hope Navigators, crisis counselors, and other program experts who specialize in helping people through the recovery process. We're also grateful for the many partners who are co-located with us and offer a number of supplies. So if you're in this local area, you can visit our website at www.myflfamilies.com. Look for the locations of our family resource support centers. Like I said, there will be counselors there, Hope Navigators, as well as food and other kinds of supplies that may help. We also announced a new component of our Hope Florida initiative, the Hope Bus, which will place Hope Navigators in communities of need. We're really excited about this launch. The Hope Bus is able to reach populations that may have challenges with transportation and certainly will be helpful in traveling to communities that have been devastated by the storm. The Hope Bus is a part of the First Lady's Hope Florida program, which has been transformational within the department. We're so thankful for, again, the First Lady's support and leadership always. Again, the people of Florida are so lucky to have the governor and so many leaders who are leading the way throughout the recovery efforts.
Okay.
Thank you, Governor. I want to really take this opportunity. My name is Tom Fabricio. I'm a member of the Florida State Guard and a member of the Florida House of Representatives. I represent an area down in South Florida and northwest Miami-Dade County. I was one of the co-sponsors for the bill that created the Florida State Guard and expanded it to where it is today. And I had the opportunity to go to the first boot camp, and we were able to deploy here to serve the state of Florida, to really help fill a need where the state of Florida, we're able to work with the Florida National Guard, which is doing a phenomenal job. However, if you look at the numbers per capita, the ratio of Florida Guardsmen to Florida residents is one of the lowest in the nation. So the Florida State Guard is able to augment that and help the Florida National Guard with pods like this in these types of situations. So for me, it's an honor to be able to be here and help out. And I know it's an honor for all these men and women of the Florida State Guard to be here and help out and serve our state. Thank you so much.
Okay, Pat?
Well, this is one of the challenges when you have a podium that's nearly your size. At 5'3", it's easy to actually be almost eye level with the podium, so I apologize. But thank you to everybody for being here today. Thank you, Governor DeSantis, for your leadership. Thank you so much for our local representatives. I see our mayor, several of our county commissioners, our sheriff, our city commissioners, our state senate and state reps. Thank you guys for all of your leadership. This truly is one team, one mission. And don't let me forget our police chief back there as well. It has been really remarkable what has happened in the lead up to this storm. If you had any questions about what Florida Strong looks like, you're seeing it. This is what good, solid, focused, disciplined preparation looks like pre, during, and post-storm. I want to thank the National Guard for all of their efforts and for deploying and being out here along with our Florida State Guard, as well as all of our first responders. You know, as the wife of a first responder, it is incredibly important that we recognize the sacrifices that they make along with their families when they leave their own homes in the time of crisis, in a time of a disaster bearing down on our state, on our communities. They leave to go take care of others. And so thank you not just to our first responders, to our military, but to their families as well. Something that hasn't been mentioned yet here today is really the impacts that this storm will have long-term, not just on our communities, but on our agricultural sector. Here in Suwannee County, along with Hamilton, Madison, Lafayette, Dixie and Levy County, we are going to sustain tremendous agricultural losses. And when you think about the impact that that has on our communities, the jobs that it provides, the local economic impacts, it will be felt very, very strong and deep. So I want to make sure that folks recognize that our producers who are struggling to get back on their feet, who provide jobs in our communities, as well as feed our communities, our state and our nation, are recognized for the challenges that they are going through. Everything from our aquaculture industry to our row crops to our timber industries are all sustaining damages. And finally, I would like to thank our linemen who are quick to get our power back on. They have done a remarkable job given the strength of this storm. The response has been tremendous. So again, thank you, Governor DeSantis. Thank you to the entire Florida team, the emergency management, as well as FDOT for clearing roads and getting people back on the way. So thank you again, and God bless.
Okay, so we're going to be continuing, of course, to monitor for needs as they come up. Clearly, just because you have the surge at the coast, the damage was not limited to that. I mean, it ripped through all of north central Florida, so there's a lot of stuff that's going to need to be done, and we are going to be here to help bring this all in for a landing. So I thank everyone for all their hard work. If you want to go to floridadisaster.org is a great site. It will have information on these points of distribution. So if you want to know, like, hey, you're in Suwannee, where's the closest pod? You can get the address. You can see what they're doing behind me. So that's a great resource. And as more things come online, there'll be more and more of that's put on that website. So floridadisaster.org is a great resource. Check it out if you have any questions. Okay, do we have any questions? Yes. Federal coordination, by and large has been fine. We did request the major disaster declaration. That was granted, but not granted for Madison County. It was granted for Suwannee and the other counties that were in the eye of the storm. So we've asked for the Madison. I think that's very, very important. I mean, they got hit very hard. It's also a community that isn't used to necessarily getting hit by hurricanes the way this one was. So it's totally appropriate that they have access to individual assistance, and I think we'll end up getting that, but that is still pending. All right, well, thanks, everybody. We'll have an update later. Thank you. All right. So the county, you have Madison.